Alright, back to actually doing things. So what do I need to do today? Well, today is going to be, I need to work on the game mode stuff. So what do we got? One of the things that was requested was hookups for the stealth mode entrance and exit. So let's go ahead and add those. And I'll just add a basic hookup. I might be messing with my monitors and a whole bunch of other stuff, because my second graphics card, which is right there, is causing blue screens. So I'm running on one graphics card, so I don't have all my monitors hooked up because I don't have all the cables to hook it up to just one card. So let's see, the stealth effect is when we change the player to be visible and invisible, which I think we took care of inside of the other things. But why don't we just add a player? Let's take the player air jump, let's duplicate that and make FX player stealth intro. Let's open it up and make sure we got the right asset, because we'll want stealth intro and outro for our player when it's us, and then intro outro for when it's another player over the network. Another thing to do was tune the movement for network. I think the network movement needs to be faster, apparently. We're having a few issues where sometimes you're a little too fast. You outrun the speed of light. Alright, that looks correct. So let's get player air jump other. We'll duplicate that and do player stealth intro other. Duplicate that again. FX player stealth outro other. Hooray for long convoluted names. Also looks my overlay is fucked up. Let me fix that. That's better. Let's also check the forums real quick, make sure that there's no ads for things. It's looking fine. Let's see if there's anything in the moderation queue. Oh, everything's good. Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and add the, I think it's in gameplay, player logic object. So we want the is breaking stealth, so stealth settings. Okay, so basically what we want to do is we want to get is visible. Okay, so if is visible is false, we're going to set visibility to true. And we're also going to play our effect. Okay, so if this is not visible, if this is visible, then we're going to want to play this. Okay, so basically we want to know if this is us, so and we want the stealth intro, so we're going to do create effect by class, so fx player stealth intro. Okay, so it'll be at that location. Surface doesn't matter. Okay, so if it is us, then I guess we could have a local variable for the effect that we're playing, and then we could... Alright, so stealth effect. Let's see, this will be in Dashkin effect actor class. So if we're going to hook all this stuff up, we might as well have the ability later to just be like, alright, well, the effect has all the physics information necessary if Adam wants to throw in leaves, scattering, or something else like that. Might as well, right? So let's pick the proper effect. So this is us, and this is stealth outro. And this is FX player stealth outro other. And we'll hook all that up. Alright, so let's go comment the things. Yeah, I was having some massive issues with my graphics cards. Like, it's always really annoying when you have hardware issues with your computer. Especially when you're not really sure why. Everything explodes. But basically, I had to narrow it down. I got two graphics cards in my machine, and it appears that one of them just randomly blue screens, which sucks. They're identical cards, but I've had issues with it over the years. But it's kind of just been like, well, just throw a fan over there next to the card if you're doing stuff, or turn off the monitor or lower resolution on the game or something. But it just like would even just blue screen on startup. So I was like, okay, I gotta actually solve this problem now. This is not okay. Okay, so that stealth effect is hooked up. Why don't we double check that it actually works? Alright, so that's inside of our generated code in shared objects. Alright, let's just do stealth. I think it's just stealth teams. And we'll just build that. I don't have the game options hooked up yet, so I can actually edit them on the fly. We'll get to it. Yeah, the other thing, I wasn't streaming yesterday because I was doing a whole bunch of server configuration crap for our servers that we got running. We've got multiple different servers. Like we've got right now all of our servers on AWS, which is good, but AWS instances, especially if you get larger boxes, can get pretty expensive. So one of the things is we've got some boxes in Rackspace that we're trying out because over the next like 3 years or whatever, it'll actually be cheaper. And we'll be able to run more complicated games off of them because it's like a dedicated box. You know, it's a real physical machine, and it's got a lot more power. So if we wanted to throw, 50 people in the same game or something, we could do that. If we had that on Amazon, we could do it, and we could do it quickly, but it might be more expensive. Or we have to deal with reserved instances if we want to get better prices or whatever. It's just kind of we're actually doing the holy grail of server setup, which is you have your dedicated boxes, core boxes as physical machines, and then you can also use the cloud servers when you need to. So we're actually running servers, dedicated game servers in test right now on AWS and in Rackspace. So it's kind of funny, like every company I've worked at, we've wanted to get to that sort of point where you have all that flexibility, and we never got there. Like, it's kind of like at Amazon or Electronic Arts, all those places, nope. We've had either or, but we've never had both at the same time. So it's really kind of hilarious as an indie studio of, just a single engineer and a single artist, creative. I'm going to need to boot up a couple clients here. Alright, there we are. Well, let's boot up one to start with. I need to change the audio settings. I'm going to mute that so I don't go insane. have such a stupid profile picture for Twitch. Alright, these clients will boot up eventually. There we go. Come on now. They gotta process a whole bunch of assets to actually start up. Alright, so we'll take this guy and land him down there, and this guy will run over. Okay, so it looks like it works. It's just a light effect. Nothing too crazy. Okay, so verified does work. Okay, so the next thing that I'm working on is sticky ball. When we want the ball to be able to follow a player. So let's see, it's going to be an actor that we want to set. So what do we want to do with the ball? We basically want the ball in its update function to do things. So update, so ground check, physics properties, hit effects. What is our update here? We've got this gravity force multiplier, dedicated server velocity diff. Alright, so should we apply gravity to this thing? I think we'll have this force for the ball flying off after the player to be like, should we just disable gravity entirely when it does it? No, we probably shouldn't. It should just be kind of a, well, let me think. How would it work? So if we've got this and we have like our dude, it's a dude I can draw. I'm an artist. He's got a nutsack for legs. If we have the ball, and if the ball gets close to him and we turn off gravity, it's gonna like fly at the person and then just like do nothing. I'm thinking we want gravity, and we kind of want it so the ball will just like sit on the ground next to you. And all that. So why don't we just add it straight off as its own thing? So we want like follow actor as a thing. Yeah, update follow actor. Alright, so we're gonna want a variable here which is gonna be followed actor. And we're going to want that to be an actor reference. So it's going to start off as nothing. Okay, so we also want to know if we have authority. So if we have authority and our followed actor is there, we're going to want to apply a force to the ball. Do we have any options for this? No, not really. So, why don't we throw this in as a thing? So, let's make a new variable in here. Let's have sticky distance min, sticky distance linear force, and sticky distance exponential force. Okay, so we're going to get our location. So the direction to them is going to be subtracted. Okay, so we're going to have our distance here, so we want our get our vector length squared. So if our length is less than or equal to our minimum distance times 2 times itself, then we're close enough. So if that's less than, then return. So there's no force being applied, and that's not a problem. So why don't we do that? So if the ball's close enough, don't do anything. Otherwise, we're going to want to add, I guess we're going to want dt to also be passed in here. So we're going to want a local variable, which is going to be our direction and magnitude. Oh, let's just say velocity add, and that should be a vector. Alright, so velocity add is going to be the linear force multiplied by the distance and we're going to multiply that by our delta t here. I guess we don't need to. We'll multiply it afterwards. And then we will add in our, we'll multiply our exponential force. And we probably want to have our minimum distance here. Yeah, we're going to want to subtract. So it's going to be this minus the minimum distance. And the exponential force is going to be multiplied by the, we'll take this guy. But we need to subtract the difference. So So it'll look like that. We then need to add these two numbers together. And I don't really like flow graph for adding crap together like this. It's just kind of So we will normalize our direction vector, and we will multiply this by our delta t, and then we will multiply this by our normalized vector. So that is going to be our velocity thing that we'll add to it. So what we want to do is get our so what are we doing here? It's just set physics linear velocity. Get ball gravity, multiply it together. Okay, we can just do add to current in the linear velocity stuff. Okay, that's cool. So we can just do that. Alright, so we can get rid of this velocity add and just do this. Since it's not going to be too complicated. Okay, so that is our stuff. Alright, so sticky distance should be something small, maybe like 100. Our linear force, let's have something like 200. And then let's have our exponential force be something small like 4. Just because it's gonna go huge. Hello, Kento. GUI programming? I know, it's a life, isn't it? Making stuff like this is kind of nasty, but that's alright. I can't complain too much. I mean, I can, but nobody else is here, so. The thing I'm complaining about today is that my second graphics card is fucked up somehow, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I'll run with just one graphics card for a while. I haven't been able to get those two SLI to work for like 2 years without crashing. So I've been running with one card anyway, pretty much, except for like running multiple monitors. But you don't need to run multiple monitors for fucking text editing. Okay, so what we want to do is we then want to have this ball sticks to the last player who hit. So where is that going to be? Well, I guess we should add this to the update function. So if we go to our event graph, we go to our update follow actor, and we just do that. So that should be fine. Does the game support 21:9? The game should support pretty much any resolution, like that your monitors support. The aspect ratio, though, is locked. The aspect ratio goes from 1 to 2. So, like, if the game is like, I can just run it and it's real clear what happens. But basically, like, if your screen gets too skinny, it's gonna lock to this aspect ratio of 1, so it's gonna be a square. And if it gets too wide, it's gonna have black bars on the side and all that. So it supports whatever resolution you're running at, but it'll throw black bars in there in order to make sure that we're not at just extreme stupid resolution differences where stuff will look real weird and etc. So we could be persuaded to change some of that, but we don't really want to. Like, let's say if somebody had like super widescreen across like 4 monitors, and they would then be able to see like way farther than you normally would be able to see in the game. That might be a really big competitive advantage. So I don't know, we might turn it off. It's done for anti-cheating. Yeah, it'll be more of that sort of thing, I think, where if you had a huge ass setup with 360 monitors and you were actually running the game, you'd be able to like, oh well, there's the thing over there on that monitor, I can see the ball coming from 2 miles away. And the opposite of like if you have so I guess right now if you had a super tall skinny monitor set up, that's probably the you can see the ball coming from way above. So probably if you're, and that would probably help you out on a couple levels where you could see higher up in the sky. But yeah, it's cheating purposes. It's also so we can kind of limit what's on the screen purposes. So you can't like go run over to the side and see into the mountains. Okay, so I think the player controller on the server is going to do this sorts of stuff. So for ball sticking, so if you ground pound the ball, let's see, there's record ball touch, set actor location. I think we want a function here for ball sticky, and we want the hitter, the hitty, and the ball. So what do we got going on here? We got the hitter and the ball, so it's Dashkin object actor and player proxy actor. So so we got sticky ball hit, and we also have sticky player hit. Okay, so they'll be different. So I'll have the hitter and we'll have the ball. This will be a Dashkin object actor. This will be a player proxy. Is that correct? Player proxy actor. Okay. And then this is going to be hitter and hitty, and they're both player proxies. Okay, so what we want is GM ball sticks to last player who hit. So if this is true, then we're going to call the ball and set its followed actor to get followed actor. Alright, let's make sure that the followed actor is valid. Good evening, Lucas. Hopefully you're having a good day. I am having an okay day. I started off my day dealing with hardware issues, and ripping apart my computer and trying to figure out why it was crashing. Which was my secondary graphics card is completely screwed. So, I don't know. It just blue screens constantly. It was like steadily getting worse. Like, sometimes when I would play games at higher resolutions or something, it would crash, and I was just like, okay, well, I'll just, run at a lower thing, and it shouldn't be the power supply or any of the rest. I've got plenty of power in the build that I've got. So I'm pretty sure it's just the card itself. You're an asshole, but your teacher's daughter is sick, so you don't have to go to class or something? I mean, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it was the graphics card. Okay, so the ball also needs to be valid. So let's just do all our validation checks because we don't want our server crashing. Okay, so we're going to call the ball and we're going to do Brackensack ball. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to call the ball and say follow player. Alright, so set followed actor. And we're going to call it with a actor. And we'll just set our followed actor. And why don't we also set like our follow time or something? So get level time. Just get level time F. We'll do that. Buy a 1050 Ti. Yeah, apparently the flu is like bad this year or something. I don't know. I don't even remember the last time I got the flu. Like, I just don't get sick. Like, the last time I remember being like sick to the point of actually being sick is like when I was a kid, like elementary school sort of shit. Every other time I've gotten sick, like when I've been an adult, I'll just like go to sleep, and then when I wake up, I'm better. So I don't know how that works. It's pretty funny. People talk about like, oh, I went to the doctor. I'm like, I haven't been to the doctor except for like dentist crap. In like over 10 years. Like, oh yeah, more than that, more like 15. Shit. The last time was I got fucked up feet. Well, they're not screwed up, I just didn't know the right stretches for the bottom of my foot. Tendon gets tight, and playing sports will screw it up unless I do stretches. Which I really wish I had known about those stretches when I was younger. Alright, so we'll set the followed actor, and then we'll start doing stuff, which is cool. So if the followed actor is, let's do is valid on the followed actor. So if it's not valid, we're just going to set our start follow time to the zeros. Alright, so that works. The other thing is update followed actor here. So we have authority and all that. We also want to check the think. You're gonna go to an improv show? That sounds pretty awesome. I'm looking at some of this. So I need to also have players who have balls following them. They'll run slower. So we need to tell the player that. Yeah, okay, so we want. What would be the best way to do this? Like, we could have the players themselves figure out if they should be following things or not. I mean, we pretty much want this followed actor. If we have it as replicated, and we also have the start follow time be replicated, then we can just, because it's over the network, otherwise we have to do like RPCs where it's like this ball is doing this, but then the ball might go out of scope and die. So I think we'll just have the players. I mean, is replication really going to work though? I could just see if it does. Otherwise, we'd have to tell the players that, hey, you are. Why don't we just try with replication to start with? And we'll see how that goes. Okay, so ball stuck, player speed modifier will be fine. So ball sticks to last player who hit. Alright, so if the actor is not valid, then we're going to actually set our actor to nothing on purpose. The next thing that we need to do is, we probably also need to do a branch here of GM ball sticks to last player who hit. If this is false, we want to just do this as well. Just make sure to set it. Okay. I know the name Markiplier, but I haven't watched anything of his. Okay, so stick player hit and stick ball hit. So we will set followed actor to that. Ball unsticks to last player who hit. If the ball's... Alright, so... Let me think, what rules did I have? I had ball sticks to last player who hit it, and ball unsticks to last player who hit. Okay, so the question is, if we actually have an actor here with this, yeah, so if we get the followed actor, and if we need to have GM ball unsticks to player who hit, So if it unsticks, then we can go ahead and steal a ball. Otherwise, we have to punch the player himself to unstick the ball. Alright, so if is valid is false, go ahead and go over there. Otherwise, we have to do this whole thing. Alright, that's starting to make sense. Have you gotten any stupid bug reports? I don't think we've gotten any stupid bug reports. I mean, the only one that didn't really make much sense to me was the person saying that if you crouched after popping up the ball, you could move while crouched and the ball would move with you. Like if you had some spooky action at a distance on the ball, and I was like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? I think the person was probably just confused by the camera motion or something, because I had no clue what that guy was talking about. Other than that, no. Other than just having, cheap Viagra on the forums, nothing else has been kind of like annoying and stupid. Yeah, the only thing that's annoying and stupid are the bugs. Like the bug right now, like your gamepad, your gamepad customization is fucked up right now. You can't customize your gamepad controls because of some of the stuff I screwed up. So like Caracan had to go edit the config files directly. Oh well. Okay, so that'll do that, and we want if a player was hit. So we're gonna need to like get all Brackensack balls. And we'll go through all of them. So this is gonna be like ball unsticks to last player who hit. Ball unstuck when player is hit. Alright, so GM ball unstuck when player is hit. So if this is true and all that, okay, let's also do our is valid stuff. Okay, so if ball unstuck when player is hit, we're gonna snag all the balls, and we're going to cast to, what are these? These are object actors, so cast to Brackensack ball, and we're gonna get followed actor, and we're gonna say this equals this dude. Then we are going to unstick the ball from that person. So you hit the dude. I guess we could have another option there if you actually steal all the balls. Yeah, I told Adam I was getting the blue screens there. It's probably bad, dangerous Viagra. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to try it to make sure it's of the highest quality. And then we'll give it the Bracken Sack approved label. We're actually going to go into business selling drugs if we don't make enough money on the game. I've talked at long length with Adam about this, and we got some exciting stuff coming down. All right, I think I'm going to add another game option here. Which is going to be if you steal the balls on hit. Yeah, Adam, I also added effects for if you become visible or invisible with the stealth stuff. Alright, so we'll have balls stolen on player hit. So let's get that generated. I need to add that to the enum, don't I? Let's get that added. Okay, so reload the objects, and I need to go to the gameplay utils and also edit that switch statement. The game options are kind of this odd sort of thing where we have to, because they're built by strings as opposed to by other things, so that we can actually like load in text files that are easy to work with and combine option sets in dynamic ways. Alright, so this is going to be ball stuck, ball stolen on player hit. Alright, we'll build that, get it rocking and rolling. Yeah, I don't know. So if we have our balls stolen on player hit, basically you punch somebody and all the balls that were following them now follow you. That seems like it might be something that would work. Hey, you didn't know, Lucas? Adam's kind of a big deal. Yeah, we're actually going to have a Brackenwood live show, improv show, where we do Bracken sack things, and we run around punching each other for 30 minutes. But we still haven't found somebody to play the fat sack, and I'm not really sure why. It seems like you're kind of the star of the show, right? I just don't understand why somebody wouldn't want to be the star of the show. I need new gloves. These gloves are getting real fucked up. Let me see how much they are on Amazon right now. I just love Amazon's, like, its advertising stuff for what it thinks you want. because I looked up some computer stuff and some server stuff, and then now all the ads are just like, would you like to buy a dedicated server for your house? Be like, no, I fucking don't. It's like, you looked at an Amazon Echo one time, you sure you don't want to buy that again? Be like, yeah, I'm pretty fucking sure I don't. I'm thinking maybe yellow gloves? Only one in stock. Oh no. Get Caracan to make you gloves? That would be pretty cool, actually. Oh man, they don't have the white supremacist gloves. I don't want to. I don't want to buy this anymore. Yeah, I think I'll just get the yellow gloves. Buy used gloves. No, I don't fucking think so, Amazon. Alright, so ship to my address. Yay, let's go ahead and do that. I mean, what's the saying? Why buy one when you can buy two for twice the price? And I need to make my GDC schedule. Like, that's something that I actually have to do. Otherwise, it can be a real pain in the ass. Okay, so inside the player controller, we want the balls stolen on player hit to also do stuff. Bat wings or spider leather, yeah. It was pretty funny at Amazon, I mean at EA. I don't know if you were there for that when we had all the interns, but at the end of one of the intern rotations, we gave all the interns gloves when they were finished. It was really funny. Alright, so if ball unstuck when player is hit, we want GM ball stolen on player hit. We want to do an OR here. Throw that in there. Be speaking at a panel? No, we're not speaking in any panels or anything. We're just going as people. Speaking at GDC is something I've thought about before, but it's always been, I don't know, like all the speeches at GDC I've been to are usually like, yeah, that's last year's thing. We get it. It's interesting. But I don't know. I'm not really too enthusiastic to actually go through all that shit that you have to do in order to actually give a talk or be a part of something. Though after we do all this indie stuff, it would be nice, like, you could actually give like an interesting talk about setting up like your own business in your, setting up a business in your basement sort of shit. People might benefit from some of that.